Hiya peeps! I'm back with a video to show you. These are the nails that I did for my Valentine's Day. Well, it's more than a day because I've still got them on and I will have them on after Valentine's Day too. But yeah, I didn't want anything too over the top like red and whatnot. I wanted something quite mild in colour, that's not the right word, sort of paler in colour, but blinged out. So this is the set that I came up with, and as you saw in the beginning, I showed you my safety glasses. I do wear safety glasses when I'm e-filing and pinging off crystals, because things can get in your eyes, and the last thing you want is something getting in your eyes. You need your eyes, protect your eyes, that's all I'm saying. So yeah, I'm just filing down my old design, getting ready to do the new one, and you'll see that I changed the shape slightly. I go from a really almost stiletto-y type shape to, well, it's an extreme ballerina type tapered square shape into a more of a normal ballerina tapered square shape. And the way I've done that is I've added a bit more acrylic on the sides to sort of widen them a bit on the tips, but you'll see that as we go along. So I shall let you watch me just e-filing away the old design. I will have a video on this design coming up. I just haven't edited it yet, and I've got, as usual, a ton of videos to edit that I haven't got around to doing yet. You know what? It's not actually the editing that gets me, it's doing this part, the voiceover, the quiet time, where you sit down and talk to yourself, because that's what you do. I'm sitting here by myself talking, and it's really bizarre, really strange. I know I'm talking to you guys, but at the time of recording, yeah, it's just, I find that a bit awkward, so I tend to put off the voiceover part. I've changed my e-file bit, and I'm going around with a cuticle bit, right of the way around those cuticles, getting off all that dead crusty skin that's on the nail plate. And you'll notice that I'm going around one side at a time. So I've got my e-file on forward, and I'm going around one side of the nails, and then I'll switch it to reverse, and then I'll go around the other side of the nails. I found that actually really helps with pushing the cuticle out of the sidewalls and the actual epinicium. I found when I kept it going the same way, the e-file going around, in forward, and then going around the whole cuticle area and sidewalls, I found that it kind of pushed on one side, it kind of pushed the debris under the epinicium and into the sidewalls on one side, where it pushed it out on the other side. So I started doing it this way, and it seems to work out a lot better. So if you've got an e-file and you do use it, I'd suggest giving that a try, because I have noticed a difference with that. It does sort of push out. It's really hard to explain, but I'm hoping you understand what I mean. So I'm now, oh look, it's gone on, I've rabbited too long, and we're at another stage. So what am I doing? Okay, I'm with my sanding band. I know a lot of people hate them, but I love them. If they're used correctly, they're wonderful things. It's not the sanding bands that you should be afraid of, it's the dodgy techs that use them that don't know what they're doing with them. But anywho, I love my sanding band, so I'm just filing away, evening out the surface a bit, getting some more of the old design off, and shaping my tips down to the length of my other hand, sort of matching them up. and then I will carry on with the next part, which will be going in with my hand file if I remember rightly. Going in with my hand file now and just getting those last bits of the previous design off, making sure there are no lifted bits, evening out the surface so that when I go to apply the new acrylic it should all go on nice and even. And yes, I'm double jointed. I don't know if you noticed there when I was filing my little finger. Yeah, I'm double jointed. I find it really difficult to file my own nails, especially my little finger. It's like they've got no solidarity to them. So when you're filing, they wiggle all over the place, and you're just like, oh, I just want to be able to hold it still and sturdy so I can file. And it's frustrating doing your own nails, I must say. I prefer doing someone else's than doing my own. I find my own really awkward, and my application is never as good on myself as it is on someone else. It's always really bumpy and just, well, it's crap when I'm doing it on myself. When I'm doing it on someone else, it's nice and smooth, it looks good, doesn't need a huge amount of filing. When I do my own, I don't know what happens, it all just goes Pete Tong. As you saw, I just whizzed round with my little brush bit on my e-file, and that's really good for getting the dust out from the cuticle area. And now I'm going in with a clear base layer that I like to always put down. It does a number of things, putting down a clear base layer. One, the clear acrylic is the best acrylic for adhesion. It just is, because it has no colour and pigment in it. It just adheres to the nail plate better than any other acrylic that has colour in it. So that's number one. Number two, it protects the nails from any staining from coloured acrylics. And number three, it helps when you're filing down the old design. You got something to file back to. You know you're not going to hit the natural nail when you're filing down. And the fourth reason is that it's strength. So there's nothing stronger than clear. So if you're putting clear, then the colour, and then clear on top, you're making that sandwich, you know you're going to have a strong nail. So yeah, those are the reasons why I use clear as my base, and I always cap in clear as well. I know there are a lot of colours that are strength powders. You know, a lot of colours are strength powders, like your cover pinks and such, your core powders. They are strength powders, but I always prefer to cap in clear. It's just something that I've always done, and I don't think I'll ever change that. I just feel like I like to have that strength of the clear on there, and also you use less of the colour if you're capping in clear, so it's win-win in my opinion. So as you can see, I'm just using this pink colour that I mixed up myself, and I put some shimmers and some extra fine glitters in it, and it's just really nice pale pastely pink with shimmers and sparkles in it. I really like this colour, and yeah, I just mixed it up myself. And I'm adding these little shell pieces. They're so pretty, really pretty. I just think it added just a little subtle something. It's not too over the top. I think it went well with this design. Those little shell pieces are really, really pretty, and I got those from probably AliExpress, knowing me. They're not expensive. And I've made a right hash of this application, as you can see. Oh my gosh, what a mess. I got a piece of the glittering, well, the little shell piece in when I put that first bead on. So I used my brush to dig it out, and then I had this big dip. Oh, and then I had to cover that back up with more acrylic. Anyway, yeah, I made a right hash of this now, but it all turns out all right in the end. Filing is your friend. I mean, I'm not going really heavy with the pink. It's quite a thin layer, and I do cap it with clear, as I've mentioned before. You know, always capping clear. So yeah. You can see probably a little bit there that it is a thin layer. It's not thick at all. So yeah, it looks really dodgy at the moment, but it won't look so bad once it's been capped and filed into shape. It's crazy when you watch it so sped up. I wish I could apply acrylic this fast. Good gravy, it would make my life so much easier. Oh dear. I wish I could apply it this quickly. For some reason it was setting really quickly. I had the heating up too high. I should have probably put my monomer in a little ice bath to slow down the acrylic setting, but yeah, I just poodled along with it and it was setting quite quickly, so I did struggle a little bit, but it all works out in the end. You can see here where I'm widening the sides, and that's how I changed the shape from being so thin. So I'm going around to all of the nails and just widening them just a little bit, just to change the shape. So I didn't want them quite as skinny at the top as they were before with the previous design, and I didn't want to start again from scratch. So that's how I did it. You don't always have to start again from scratch if you're changing the shape to a shape that's wider than the previous. Just so you know, there's a way to build it up when you don't have to. So I'm capping clear now, and again my acrylic is setting too fast, so I'm putting far too much on there. I don't know why I put such huge beads on. And then you can see where it starts to set, and then I'm having to really push to get it to move. That was frustrating. And then I ended up getting, as you saw just there, I got monomer on my skin, which I absolutely hate doing. Do not like getting monomer on my skin. It drives me nuts. So I wiped it off with the kitchen towel, and as soon as this acrylic sets, I go and wash my hands with soap and water, because I'm really funny about that. I really do not like monomer getting on my skin. Yes, I'm just carrying on, making a hash of it, getting monomer on my skin, driving myself nuts. What you can't hear is me cursing. Thank goodness. Yes, I was getting quite irate with my own self. Good gracious. Terrible. I hate it. It really frustrates me getting it on my skin, but sometimes you just can't help it. And this was one of those times. I swiped the nail with a bit of monomer first, because sometimes it makes it easier to apply the clear if you just swipe a bit of, if your previous acrylic has dried, if you swipe a little bit of I'm not talking about saturating your fingers, but I swiped the nail with a little bit of monomer before you apply the clear. Sometimes it makes it a little bit easier for the clear to go on application wise, but anywho. So I have washed my hands of monomer and my nails have dried obviously, so yep, going around with a cuticle bit, trying to make them nice and neat and flush and tidy. And I showed you how low I have my e-file going when I'm going around the cuticle area. It's on 7, so it's very low. You don't need it hugely fast to go around the cuticle area. It's not necessary, and this way, you know, you're not going to hurt yourself or burn yourself or your client As I'm doing it on me, I will say yourself, but obviously if you're doing this on someone else, I like to use it quite low when I'm going around the cuticle area, just debulking and making sure it's nice and flush, because I don't want a step. There's nothing worse than having a step of acrylic by your cuticle area, because it just, your hair just gets caught on it and it just frustrates the crap out of you. So yeah, always make sure it's nice and flush, and so when it grows out it's nice and neat and nothing gets caught on it. So going in with my hand file now, just refining the side walls and the free edge, making sure that shape is nice and neat and straight the way I want it. And you'll see that I stop, I file one side, I file the other side, then I stop and I move my hand and I look at it and I make sure it's straight. I don't want a wonky nail, so I file a bit and then I stop, and I file a bit and then I stop and I look and I make sure, and that's just the easiest way to do it for me, to make sure that my nails don't come out wonky. No one wants a wonky nail. Sorry, my camera keeps going in and out of focus. This video is going to be a little bit choppy because I've cut out towards the end of the video where I'm doing other bits. I did cut out bits and pieces where I was out of frame. It's really hard to stay in frame. I know I've said that before, but it really is. So I have had to cut out a fair amount of the crystal placement and bits like that because I just wasn't in frame. There's no point showing it if you can't see what's going on, so I do apologise. I'm sorry. I try, but sometimes I forget to look up because I just get engrossed in what I'm doing. I'm going in with my e-file again, and this time I'm going over the full surface of the nail, taking down the bulk, making sure my free edge is nice and thinnish, not too thick. And then after this I'll go in with the hand file and just make sure I don't have any lines from the e-file there. I'll make sure everything is nice rounded off and smooth. I'm not going to buff though. I'm only just using my hand file, and then I'll go straight into the 3D and stamping, and then I'll go into the crystal placement. So yeah, this is the last bit where I'm filing, literally just rounding it all off, making sure there's no lines from the e-file, and that's that. So my filing's done, and I have brushed away all the dust and used some rubbing alcohol and a wipe and just cleansed the nails to make sure there's no dust left. And now I'm going in with my 3D design. So I'm just using some white acrylic powder. I've added a little bit of glitter into it as well. You won't be able to see it on the video, but yeah, there is a little bit of glitter in this acrylic. As you see, I'll just use little balls, go around, and I sort of, as I push the petals down, I then go back with my brush and sort of slide it under and wiggle, so that I get those little frills. Yeah, they're frills. Little frills to just give the petals a nice shape, and I don't know, it just gives them a nice pattern so that they're not just flat, they're a bit up and downy. I don't know how to explain it. You can see what I'm doing. I'm sorry, I keep going in and out of shot. Oh, frustrating, I know. Sorry. I'm just adding a little crystal now. You can't see properly, but yeah, I was just adding a little crystal and then making sure that none of the acrylic was on top of it. I just stuck that on with a little bit of wet acrylic. That was all. And now I'm going to do some stamping! Woohoo! Haven't done stamping for a little while, so it's something I do like to do. And I thought this rose pattern actually went really nicely. I was quite happy with this. And as my nails are quite long, I did have to stamp it twice. So stamped as much as my nail that I could with it, and then I had to line it up on the bottom with it. It's nice that the design continues where you can line it up and it matches up. It's like matching wallpaper. You can match it up. So yeah, I stamped the whole nail and that was pretty cool. Came out nicely. What I did forget to do was to film where I took some acetone and wiped off any of the stamping polish that I got on my fingers. I did forget to record that bit, but rest assured I did remove the nail polish, it's stamping polish, from my skin afterwards, so yeah, just didn't show you, sorry. And I'm going with my crystals, and as you can see I'm out of shot again, and it's annoying. So I have cut out quite a bit of the crystal placement because there was no point, you couldn't see what I was doing, but you do see some of it. So I'm literally just going in with my glue, which is actually a resin, and I find it works really well. Love my little crystal picker. I found one with red stones in it, so I was really happy when I found that. And I've got little trays that are filled with different crystals, and I'm going around and trying to remember which ones I used on my other hand, trying to match it up. Oh good gracious, that's something else. It's all very well you doing one hand and then you've got to try and match up the other hand. Oh god, it's not that easy. See, I'll try to match them up. Like, how far down was that one? Oh dear. Still trying to match it up.
I need an angel after what you did, 'cause you were the devil, you mess with my head, you lied to my mother, you lied to my friends, you said that you'd be there, but this never ends. Don't wake me up, not in this century. Don't wake me up, 'cause you're just a ghost inside my head. You're just a ghost, you're never there. You're just a memory on my lips.
So you see, every so often I'll flip my hand and just try and make sure that I'm not placing the crystals wonky. So I'll flip my hand round and have a look from a different angle, try and make them in a straight line as well, as straight as I can in the middle of the nail, as best I can.
You're just a ghost inside my head. You're just a ghost, you're never there. 'Cause you're just a ghost inside my head. You're just a ghost, you're never there.
So I'm almost finished with crystals now, and then I shall top coat. I'll make sure that the glue's dry. Normally by the time you've got round to the thumb, the rest of it is dry, so it does dry quite quickly, this resin. So I'll whiz round with the old top coat, give it a nice shine. And you'll see that I'm butting the brush up to the crystals, but I'm not going over them. And then I'll use a liner brush, a really thin brush, and dab some top coat onto, well, I'll use the brush to pick up some top coat, and then I'll actually go round the parts that I couldn't reach with the big brush, so and just make sure that those crystals are nicely sealed in and that the top coat is right up on them but not over the top of them. It just kind of, I don't know, when you cure it, it kind of sort of shrinks and wraps around the base of them and just holds them in place a bit more as well, to help with the, you know, I don't know, it just helps strengthen the glue, I suppose. Add strength with the glue. Yeah, I think that's what I mean. I've cured my top coat, let them cool down a little bit, and going in with the old cuticle oil, rub that in, try and rehydrate my dry fingers, and afterwards I'll clean my hands as well. But yay, all done. Hope you liked them. Thank you for watching my video, and hopefully I won't take so long to do the next one. See you soon. Take care now, peeps. Bye.